Yo guys, today I want to talk about Singapore minister earning millions of dollars and they have the highest freaking pay than anyone else in the world. The Singapore Prime Minister is paid 2 million Singapore currency or US $1.6 million a year, a lot higher than the presidents of two big countries. Also, the president in Taiwan could only get about US 230,000 a year. Actually, that's not really low for her since she prefers to serving pigs to serving the people. But here, I have three main reasons why we should support the Singapore ministers being the highest paid political leaders in the world. Number one, the Singapore ministers are not rich. Some people could reason that based on the total populations, land size, or even GDP, ministers are not justified to get the high pay. Moreover, the citizens are paying for the very high cost of living and also the GST hike. So, aren't the ministers squeezing out the money from the Singaporeans to make themselves rich? To answer this question is very simple. Why should those Singapore ministers use citizens to make money for themselves since they are qualified to get a better job with higher income elsewhere with their proven qualification and genuine education? Any reputable company could easily hire them and a few years later, they could earn at least 3 times higher than what they are getting now. Take a look at the salary of Apple's CEO. He's earning more than $10 million. And compared to what Lee Hsien Loong gets, his salary is only $1.6 million. The revenue of Apple is about 50 billion average in a year, which is the same as the government bringing in the revenue into Singapore. Hence, do we still think that Lee Hsien Loong pay is high? Oh, no wonder his wife preferred to work in Temasek Holdings but not in the government. You know what I'm saying? But still, it's her hard work and quality to get her climb to the top. Her look, her hair, her shape already tell us that compared to her and her, who are about the same age. Additionally, many top CEOs of good public listed companies making millions of dollars do not need to go through the stress, scars, and strains that ministers and their spouses have to go through in the process of serving the country. Yeah, some may say that this is so unfair to citizens who pay high bills for everything such as electricity, rubbish chute, water, internet cable, TV, and the list just keep on going on. Many families have squabbles over this matter, yet the high-earning ministers do not really care. Then don't use or use less of those laws. So easy lah. In this regard, how about the CEO enjoying his lifestyle, playing golf and enjoying however he can every day, yet charging a consumer a phone costing more than $1,000, or which the actual cost of production is less than $300 each? So why is there no one complaining about them? Many cuckoo consumers are just cuckoo for buying new things anyway from these rich CEOs without any grumble. Obama could earn more money in 30 minutes than Lee Hsien Loong will earn half a year by just giving speech after stepping down as President of the United States. So where does the money come from? From the rich or from those who are feeding the rich? By the way, do we really believe Donald Trump wants to become the president with zero paycheck? His pay could even be much higher than Obama or Bill Clinton giving speeches. However, in Singapore, the PM ministers or even the presidents who give fish and chicken lesson will never earn an obscene amount by giving speeches. Not even a few $100s as a gesture of appreciation for whatever speech they give. So, in what way are they taking advantage of the poor? Singapore poverty is minimized, but that does not mean it must be zero. And the government has been developing welfare schemes to help many unfortunate. On the other hand, if the Taiwan government is going to set a high salary for its officials, will it reduce their corruption level and help the poor? Instead, the poor will suffer even more. The Taiwanese literally do not have clean water to drink at home too. Moreover, some of them in the government even have criminal records or crimes yet to be charged. Even the PhD of the president is still under investigation for authenticity. Moreover, their real actual salary could even be more since they could even afford to send their children to overseas studies in some prestigious schools in the US. They are in fact working under the government's umbrella to do whatever they want in the world that no one could see. And so this brings me to point 2. High pay is not the main element to deter corruption. Some people will always get greedier and never be content in life. The more they earn, the more they want. The Taiwan ex-president Chen Shui-bian and his wife together embezzled more than US $3 million from the Special Presidential Fund and received bribes of more than US $11 million in connection with the government land procurement and a separate construction project. That is a lot more than what Lee Hsien Loong is earning now in a year. Although Chen Shui-bian has a good education background, but that doesn't mean he has a good moral. So how did Singapore actually ensure that ministers are not corrupt despite getting high pay? So this is what the Singapore government does to deter ministers from getting corrupt. A high salary is necessary for the minister to sacrifice their privacy and endure public scrutiny to be in politics without side incomes. This is part of the system of how Singapore keeps the top government hierarchy clean. First, the Singapore government identifies talents very early and captures them by giving them government scholarships. Then they are being recruited into the system using the reputable schools, national service and their contribution to the society. When the time comes, they are tagged into the politics. After that, everything will be under the public scrutiny, going through different portfolios to test their ability. That's why the government allowed public criticisms so that they could always be reminded who they are. In fact, to become a Singapore minister is like losing everything. Cannot go to KTV with girls, cannot drive a Porsche, cannot even make an appearance in the red light district, cannot even smoke a cigarette, not even kiss other girls in the public. To become minister means you actually have to give up your life. So the high salary they are receiving is just part of the equation to ensure the best chance of not having someone who makes it into the government hierarchy and start to corrupt the system. This system is not 100% foolproof, but it does give the government the best chance. Until any minister really get into corruption like the case of Chen Shui-bian, PAP will be out of Singapore for good. So now you see how stressful these ministers are. High pays come with great responsibility. Although the system also promotes group thinking and yes-man concept, keeping the top government clean is more crucial to the functioning of Singapore. Tell me which is important. Do you want a corruption-free or a deceitful minister? Did Taiwan or other countries build this kind of system that Lee Kuan Yew had carefully crafted for Singapore a long time ago? It took years of planning and development to build such a clean hierarchy. Therefore, high pay doesn't mean it will not get someone into corruption. It's the successful model that Singapore government has built over the years to keep corruption free. Last reason, international image. Look at those buildings and roads in Singapore, as good as new and well maintained with all kinds of new development. If you stay in Singapore for at least a year, you will hardly recognize Singapore due to its fast development. Universal, big casinos and this and that, including the famous garden that until now I have not visited, have made Singapore well known for its tourist attraction. Although sometimes you can still see how some Singaporeans could really make a mess of it. Singapore is not Kiribati, with almost sinking. As such, why should the Singapore minister get low pay? If this ever happens, how could they face the international leaders? It could become a world laughing stock if they are going to wear beggars' clothes to attend a summit. Being the first world country but filled with third world ministers, you know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't be naive. The world is all about power and money. If you see without wearing branded clothes or expensive watches, however we beg for their collaboration, they will just ignore us, unless you want to use bribes. If such case happens, they'll be laughing at how poor Singapore is by using third world ministers. Although Singapore ministers couldn't enjoy their life like Donald Trump and other US leaders are enjoying, and many of them are not even PhD graduates despite they are qualified but just couldn't afford to waste their time for it. At least they have the highest pay to tell everyone they are qualified leaders to make any international agreements. In summary, the Singapore ministers are the highest paid political leaders, but they are not the richest politicians in the world. Most importantly, the high pay must keep the government system clean from corruption. Hence, those who are still thinking they are the world's richest politicians are in fact morons.